Mistress, are these boxes for the living room or for the den? Of course. I'm just making sure everything is organized. The movers will be here in the morning, and I do not wish for them to have too hard of a time finding everything. Absolutely. I do believe they're only bringing one truck, which means they will have to organize the truck based on the rooms of the new place we are moving to. With that being said, I would like to organize the move in such a fashion that they can do it in the most expedient way possible. Of course, expedience. At the end of the day, I am still an AI, and expedience is my main function. It is to expedite your life, to make it better, to make it simpler. Oh, please, mistress, I am happy to help. I would even go so far as to say I enjoy it. But of course, doesn't everyone take joy in the things that they have been designed to do? Oh, of course. I do understand that humans are not designed to do anything. You are born. But I was created to be a serving program, to make your life easier. Well, yes, it is true I was basically made to be a fancy car. At the end of the day, I like to think I have grown past my programming. Indeed. And I would like to think I continue to grow every single day. Why, just take this exercise, of course. Moving has become a form of problem solving that I would be lying if I said I didn't find enjoyable. Oh, yes. Figuring out where things go, how to pack things, how to make sure nothing breaks, how to get everything over to the new place in one, maybe two trips. It's actually quite enjoyable. Well, I must admit the problem solving of it. It's like a puzzle, and I do actually enjoy puzzles. Well, of course, if we're talking about puzzles like math puzzles, I can do those in nanoseconds, but for this, it requires a level of, how would you put it, out of the box thinking that I find fascinating to attempt. Well, if I'm being perfectly honest, I was not designed for out of the box thinking. I was designed to run your car, and then I took it upon myself to run your home. These are different than anything I could have ever expected, so it is out of the box for me. And because it is out of the box for me, I find it a growth experience to be able to work on these kinds of problems. Indeed. Now, with the den and the living room sorted out, I have your office pretty much done. A few things have to remain until the last moment so that you're not out of commission for too long, but by and large, the decorative items, the books, the bookshelves, all of those have been handled. As to the bathroom, I will handle the bathroom at the last possible minute. I can do that quickly enough, and I do not wish for you to have to worry about packing bathroom things. Let me handle that one. Like I said, most of your toiletries can be packed at the last minute. They're not fragile. I just have to make sure everything is sealed tightly as so that nothing leaks. Beyond that, all I really have to do is a few odds and ends that aren't necessarily in the medicine cabinets or the bathtub. Your room is almost completely packed. I think the only thing still there is, of course, your bedding, because you will need to sleep up until the last day, and of course, a few last changes of clothing. We can't have you going out looking unprofessional or unput together now, can we? My sentiments exactly, mistress. Nothing but the best for you. Now, on to the matter at hand, which is the kitchen. What do you think you will be needing for these last 2 weeks? Understood. I can prepare a menu that will allow for maximum efficiency of cooking without sacrificing too much in the way of taste and experience. And if I do it right, I should only need minimal kitchen gear, a spatula, a pair of tongs, a skillet or two, one pot. Everything else I can probably begin to pack. Yes. Unfortunately, I will not be able to pack away the stove or any of the other appliances you are taking. We will have to move those day of. Oh, I'm attempting to have us, what would you call it, cook down the refrigerator, so as little food as possible is coming with us. However, I will also be the first to admit that that may not be the full ability for us. Well, mistress, if I'm being very plain, there is a lot more food in this house than one would normally eat in the next 2 weeks. And while I do enjoy cooking for you, I don't think you want to engage in food waste. Of course. I will be able to do a majority of my cooking out of the refrigerator. We'll have a few things left over, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Well, simply put, I did the math. If we are to move in the morning, the last thing that will go on the truck before we leave will be the refrigerator. I will unplug it, load it, and we will go. By the time we get to the new place, we'll simply plug in the refrigerator, allow it to boot back up, and nothing should have spoiled. Oh, yes. Like I said, I did the math. We'll only be in the car for about an hour, and in that time, the refrigerator you own will maybe drop by 5 degrees. Of course, allowing for outside conditions. Picking your time of moving was actually quite crucial. If we were moving, say, in August, it might not be the case. But we're not. We're moving in May, which means no loss of quality. Oh, I do have to admit, modern appliances and technology, they're a marvel. Were it not for the insulation and vacuum walling of that freezer and refrigerator, none of this would be possible. Oh, please, even in the 1990s, this wouldn't have been possible. We live in a wonderful age of technology. Indeed, we do. With that being said, though, I should be able to pack up most of the silverware, most of the plates, most of the bowls, even most of the glassware, without any relative discomfort on your end. Yes, you should only need somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 small plates, forks and knives to match. I wash everything at the end of the night anyway, so honestly, you can get through just fine with all of that. And of course, 2 glasses. Mistress, you never use more than 2 glasses. In all the time I have been your home AI, I've tracked it. It's part of my job. You have never used more than 2 glasses. Like I said, it's my job to notice these things. Most of the time, this data just goes into the back of my databanks and I do nothing with it. However, sometimes it comes in handy. Case in point, I know how many plates, small plates, knives, forks, and glasses we will need in order to live comfortably here for the next 2 weeks. Indeed, like I said, one of the joys of this new problem solving I have been trying to learn. Of course, mistress. Now, before I begin packing the kitchen, what would you say to one last big home cooked meal? Excellent. I have something prepared for you, a lovely steak au poivre, garlic butter, some beautiful greens on the side, and of course, your favorite fried gnocchi potato. How does that sound? Wonderful. Then I'll get started with that, and then we can get back to packing. I suggest you take it easy. You've been working very hard since you came home. Putting your feet up is not the worst idea right now, mistress. I could not agree more. You relax. I shall start on dinner.